Unfortunately for Mini fans, that means the new model is bigger, though it's hardly oversized or cumbersome, and it also benefits from the flexible interior space inherent in the BMW-based front-wheel drive platform it's built on. That gives it a handy advantage against premium competitors from Mercedes-Benz and Audi that scrimp on space to deliver style, whilst maintaining that unmistakably Mini charm that attracts buyers to the brand. There's a Countryman for just about everyone, starting with the entry-level Cooper and Cooper D twins and moving up through the performance range that includes the Cooper S, Cooper SD, and John Cooper Works. That entry-level tag applied to the Cooper D is a little misleading though, with a strong list of standard features to help the Cooper D justify its premium positioning compared to mainstream competitors from the likes of Mazda or Nissan. Under the bonnet, the Cooper D keeps things frugal with a 2.0-liter turbo diesel engine, but isn't handicapped by a lack of power with 110 kilowatts and 330 Newton-meters, proving more than enough to keep things lively. The Countryman's interior provides plenty of retro styling touches in its circular design, but is entirely modern to use, with a full range of modern conveniences and tech-friendly features integrated into it. Mini's clever infotainment interface, upgraded with a larger 8.8-inch screen on this particular car, takes its cues from the closely related BMW iDrive system, and although it lacks the latest generation of smartphone mirroring, it is comprehensive enough to take over most of those functions anyway. Interior space has also scored a massive upgrade compared to the previous generation. Overall, the new Countryman is 20 centimeters longer than before, and interior space benefits the most. There's more room front and especially in the rear, with a sliding rear seat to balance passenger and cargo space if need be. Young families will appreciate the added space. Loading little ones into car seats has been made easier thanks to the added rear room and larger door openings, but as your family grows into teens, the Countryman may hit its limits, particularly if you're raising a future Boomers or Opels player. The boot also grows by 100 liters compared to the old Countryman. It might still be a squeeze for big or bulky items, but overall trips to your favorite flat-pack furniture store, or long weekends away will pack into the boot with less jamming, cramming, and cursing. From our short time with the car, the presentation of the interior seems impressive. The available two-tone color scheme, there's plenty to pick from, gives an upmarket impression. The glossy black interior details look smart, and the soft touch surfaces on the dash and doors impart a premium feel. Design details stick to Mini tradition, although anyone who ever owned an original Mini will be hard-pressed to recognize much of the Countryman's interior. That retro reliance means some features, like the toggle switches in the roof and center stack, are a bit clunky to operate, but the look is at least distinct from the monotony of most modern interiors. The Cooper D Countryman is powered by an earnest little engine, rated at 110 kilowatts and 330 Newton-meters from a 2.0-liter four-cylinder turbo diesel. Here's the thing though, unless you were to drive it back-to-back, it feels no less exciting to drive than the more powerful and expensive Cooper SD. In fact, unless you absolutely had to have the Cooper SD's all-wheel drive, or are planning on running your car against a stopwatch at each set of traffic lights, it might be wise to save the almost $8,000 step up to the Cooper SD and take a trip through the extensive options list instead. If times are all important, the Cooper D Countryman runs from 0 to 100 km per hour in 8.8 seconds. With plenty of torque available down low, the Cooper D doesn't feel under-engined in any way, trundling to the shops or commuting to work, and on the open road the eager diesel engine sips fuel, while also providing robust overtaking. Refinement levels are high. There's little in the way of engine noise until you really crack the whip, when noise is well managed, but as is so often the case with European cars, Australia's coarsely coated roads can create some tire roar at times. Is the Cooper D a sporty steer? Well, honestly no. It drives nicely, feeling more like a hatch than an SUV through bends. Although there's plenty of torque, there's no sense of willingness for a spirited drive. The Countryman does get suspension comfort right though, be it navigating low-speed bumps and lumps on city streets, or corrugated rural roads. The Cooper D kept its composure, and more importantly kept from shaking up occupants with a firmish ride, helping provide a feeling of solid road holding. On test, fuel consumption wasn't as stellar as Mini's factory 4.4 L/100 km claim suggests, but city-centric driving kept figures up. A more balanced mix of city and country driving would likely even things out. Realistically, buyers planning regular weekend escapes to the country are also ideally suited to the Cooper D. Urban-only users will find the petrol Cooper Countryman a better fit to city driving, with longer high-speed drives required to keep the Cooper D's particulate filter healthy.
Good Friday dawned with a stunning sunrise, so we hit the road early to avoid the hordes. Our plan was to soak up the last of the summer sun at the in-laws just outside of Kaitoya. It might not be the most exotic holiday destination, but with beaches aplenty, a whole farm for the sprog to run wild on, and no internet access, we reckon it's the perfect place for a few days of R&R. The Countryman proved to be a good fit for our trip, the Mini self giving us plenty of opportunity to get out and explore some new spots. One with the works. No, not the John Cooper works, that's still to come, but rather a generous helping of options. $16,615 to be precise, took the price of this Countryman Cooper S to almost 70 grand. The spec list is generous with the most desirable items fitted as standard. However, you can add much more. Go mad at ordering time, and by our reckoning you could spend over $80,000, but restrain yourself and the funky Countryman can be had for a reasonable coin. Creating a unique ride is what Mini is all about, and evidently a significant number of Kiwi buyers opt to customize their car. The most popular option is the Chili Pack, LED head and fog lights, 18-inch alloys, HK stereo, leather and driving assist, which adds up to $8,000 worth of goodies for just $5,000. Other boxes ticked include sat-nav and wheel upgrades, and the new picnic bench. A bespoke car takes around 3 months to arrive. So it's bigger, but what about the baby? The Countryman is all grown up, bigger in almost every direction, and large enough to seat 4 people, with legs, in comfort. Try doing that in the old one. It's the extra legroom and clever packaging that makes this a Mini that a family could live with. There's a Sofix and tether points for the kiddie seats, while the rear pew can slide and tilt, providing either extra boot space or legroom. The 450-liter boot has 2 levels, and while the removable picnic bench eats into the lower compartment, there is still room to stash stuff down there. Folding the rear seat will net 1,390 liters of space, more than a Mazda CX-5. Throughout the interior there's a heap of storage, and the door pockets will swallow a water bottle each. The rear seats 2 adults in comfort, although the middle seat is more child-sized. The TARDIS-like interior swallowed all of our bags as well as other essential items like the porta-cot, trike, and beers. Yeah, but how does it go? Rather well, once you work out the drive modes. The default setting is mid, which works just fine, so we use this for the majority of the trip. Happier performance is just a quick flick away. Selecting Sport sharpens throttle response, firms up the steering, adds a tasty exhaust note and pokes the gearbox along. There are shift paddles too, but given the box will change up of its own accord, we didn't really see the point of those. We tried green briefly, but the minuscule fuel savings hardly seemed worth putting up with the stodgy throttle and choked off response. The Countryman S is a sweet steer and a lot of fun. Sure, it's not as quick or dynamic as a Cooper hatch, but that's the price you pay for the added practicality. The engine is lag-free and stroppy when in sport. Its 19-inch wheels look the biz, but with low-profile run-flat rubber they do make for a stiff and noisy ride at times, despite the electronic dampers being fitted. There's no damper adjustment available in the green or mid, but delving into the sport settings allows the dampers to be switched independently of the drivetrain. We felt that leaving the chassis in normal with a sporty engine map was the best compromise. The stiff ride is more noticeable around town when ferrying the family, but it's not a deal breaker, just stiffer than you'd expect for an SUV. What did impress was the fuel use over our trip, 7.4 L/100 kilometers overall, not too far off the claim of 6.5 L/100 kilometers, and coincidentally the same number that Mini gives for the 0 to 100 kilometers per hour sprint, only in seconds. Down and dirty. Without the optional four-wheel drive fitted, $3,000, our off-road antics were limited. It's probably the one option we would actually fork out for. However, the Countryman's raised ride height meant we got to explore places we couldn't have gone in our low-slung wagon. A wet and rutty track to a remote beach proved a little too daunting to tackle. We turned back rather than risk getting bogged. We traveled many unsealed roads which Countryman ate up, the traction control coping well, even allowing a little slip and slide before chiming in. It performed equally well in wet and muddy paddocks. Fun, fun, fun. The Countryman is all about fun, but what big stand out the most? The styling is the big one, instantly identifiable as a Mini. Everything about it has been carefully considered and created. It's hard to find bits that have been pilfered from BMW's parts bin, and we like that. Then there are things like the lighting around the center screen that changes depending on the drive mode, and the racing stripes that appear on the Mini graphic when Sport is selected. Unique to the Countryman is the Country Timer, an app that calculates the amount of time spent off-road, awarding different statuses according to the ruggedness of the terrain. Despite our best efforts, we only reached the top-level ones. Sure, it's a gimmick, but if you don't enjoy this sort of thing, then a Mini isn't for you. Beach does. If you love the feeling of sand between your toes, there's no better place to visit than the far north. There are hundreds of miles of beaches to explore, and the beauty of being able to drive from coast to coast in half an hour means that should the wind be a little chilly on one side of the island, you simply drive to the other. Many of the beaches are accessible by car, but as the entry points are often through soft sand, four-wheel drive is advisable. 90 Mile Beach is great to explore by car, as a short drive will reward with your own private piece of beach. Located in Agapara is an adventure center for those looking to do something more than just sunbathing. Here you can hire everything from quad bikes to blow carts to all manner of surfboards. Tokoro Beach on the Karikari Peninsula is great for kids, as it has a very gentle incline, providing lots of shallow areas for safe paddling. More than just 90 miles of sand. If the sand gets too much, there are other options. Golfers can enjoy a round at the Carrington Resort, a stunning location that overlooks the white sand beaches of the Karikari Peninsula. Not one for wearing funny pants or chasing little white balls? Cross the road to Karikari Estate to enjoy lunch and a wine or two while taking in the views. Also on the peninsula is Lake Rotobokaka, known colloquially as Coca-Cola Lake. The water is sparkling and brown, and looks just a fizzy drink. The color is apparently a result of the peat deposits in the surrounding land. It's evidently clean enough to drink, while some of the locals believe it has healing properties. It goes without saying that fishing is a good way to while away the days. Cast off from any of the beaches and you're bound to get a bite. Snapper and KY are plentiful. There's also a handful of operators running fishing charters if getting out on a boat appeals. Yeah, no? The Cooper S Countryman proved extremely easy to live with, even for a small family. It's genuinely fun to drive and practical. The unique styling does come at a cost, so showing restraint at ordering time is the key to getting best value. Countryman's rivals include BMW's suave but serious X1, Audi's quirky Q2 or Mercedes GLA, none of which quite matches the fun factor of the Mini.